today's guide, do not worry. If you don't, and is, I'm gonna say, yes, that sounds good. Love for living. I feel like, no, a very fun, oh my god, what line would I say? A green eggs, no. Then I read the Ballad of Songs, what was the word? No, yes. And FBI, wait, yeah, I feel like that is good, Then I read the quiz, then I read Henry, sorry, no. 7, no, I'm so sorry guys, I'm so sorry. Hello everyone and welcome to a new video here in my channel. If you're new and you don't know me, hi, I am Bra and I'm very happy to see you here. I usually make book, writing and one content here in this channel, so if you're interested in that, please click subscribe. I would love to have you here on our community of book lovers and motorsport lovers. And if you're not new and you're in Ohio, hi, welcome back to a new video. For today's video guys, I have the wrap up of the entire year. But because I read 82 books this year, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be explaining to you every single book with one line, so you can get to kind of understand what the book is about without me explaining absolutely everything of absolutely every single book. Because again, I read 82 books this year, which is crazy. My goal was 80, so I'm very happy I gone by that. But like 82 is still a very high number. Like for me, that is a lot, and I'm super proud of that. And remember that the ring challenge is just a number. If you didn't reach it, it's completely fine if you had fun reading the books and if you enjoyed the process of reading the books that you read. I managed to reach it, but I think it's the first year I actually reached the number in a couple of years. Like I think last year I didn't reach it and the year before that I did, but because the number was very low. But again, if you didn't reach it, it's completely fine. Do not worry. I know that I've clarified that because I feel like I should tell you that it's not, necessary to reach our reading goals if, we've had a chaotic year or something happened. It's completely normal to not reach a number. You can always change it if you want. Like, it's completely fine. Now that I said that, guys, let's start with this video because I read 82 books, as I said, and I have to give you a sentence for every single book. And that's going to be a while. So, let's begin with this video. Okay guys, so you cannot see it, but I have my tablet with me. I hope you can see it if I put it up there. And I'm just going to be going through the books that I've read this year through my Goodreads with a tablet in front of me because I do not remember some of the books. Like I read 82. I cannot remember every single one of them. So I'm going to, look straight and down a bit because I have a tablet there, just as a clarification of why I might not be looking at you. The first book I read this year was The Reckoning by Caroline Peckham, and there's another author, but that's the one that Goodreads says. And this is the third book, I think it is, from the Zodiac Academy series, and the line would be redemption arc and a lot of plus 18 scenes. After that, I read Malcolm X Speaks, Selected Speeches and Statements, and I think the line here is just great speeches to learn about freedom. That is the line. The third book I read this year was We Have Always Been Here, a queer Muslim memoir, and I think for this book that I loved, I have to say I really liked this book. The line has to be, believing in God and being queer can go hand to hand. That is the line. Perfect. Next, I read Happy Place, and for this, I'm just going to say a couple falls in love after an almost breakup. If I'm not wrong, that's what the book is about. The next one was The Collected Poems of William McGonagall, and I'm just going to say, do not read this book. They are not poems. It's not poetry. And after that, I went through my Dr. Seuss phase, where basically my English friends said, you haven't read Dr. Seuss, here are the best books. And they gave me a list of the best Dr. Seuss books, and I went through it in literally like a day. So all the places you'll go have to be Traveling is Wonderful. The Cat in the Hat would be Learning to Clean After Having Fun. I feel like that sounds good. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. That is my favorite, and I would say being different is important, and being different is the key of living. Horton is a who. I would say we are always there to help others, and others will always be there to help us. After that, there's a walker to my pocket. I would say a very fun rhyming book. That one, that's good. And the last Dr. Seuss book that I read was Green Eggs and Ham. And I do not remember what the book is about, guys, so I don't think I can give you a line. After that, I read The House of Spirits by Isabel Allende, who is a Chilean author. And I would say family drama with paranormal shit. After that, I read Luna and the Lie. And I think for this one, I don't remember much about it, but I think for this one, I'm gonna say sometimes lies can be very helpful, but do not lie. Then I read Magnolia Parks, and I'm just going to say London rich people having love drama. After that, I read The Beautiful and the Damned, and I do not remember a single thing about this. I can't even tell you what it's about with a line. The next book I read was The Vanishing Half, and I'm going to say two sisters separated at birth, learn about each other, and meet up again. I read Lessons in Chemistry after that, and I'm just going to say feminism in society feminism in science during the 90s. And then I read the first volume of All the Young Dudes. So I'm just gonna do the entire All the Young Dudes series. It's 3 volumes, and there's the entire period of time where the model orders were, in Hogwarts. So I'm just going to say Remus Lupin being in love with Sirius, a lot of gay stuff. That is the line for the entire series, I would say. After that, I read Love in Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and I don't like the book. I don't even remember what I read on it, so I'm just going to say, after that, I read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and Sunrise on the Reaping. I have a video on that, so I will leave it on the eye and leave it linked. But for The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I'm just going to say a guy gets heartbroken and decides to become a dictator. And Sunrise on the Reaping, I would say, is a guy falls in love and goes to war to honor the one who he loved. I feel like that's kind of a good line. After that one, I read Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and I'm just going to say the best horror paranormal book ever. I loved it. And for Animal Farm, I'm just going to say communism and revolution between animals. Then I read Medusa, which was one of my 5 stars, and you'll have the 5-star video, if not before this one, after, but you're gonna see my 5-star book video of the year, and you can see Medusa on it. And I'm just going to say a great retelling about the woman with snakes in her head. After that, I read Women Don't Own You Pretty, and the line is women are never too much. Feminism in pure form. That is Women Don't Own You Pretty. The next one was Babel from R.F. Kuang, and I'm going to say an Oxford dark academia perfection. After I read The Tattoos of Auschwitz, and I loved it, guys. That book was one of the best ones I read this year. Oh my lord, how amazing that book was. And my line for that book, for The Tattoos of Auschwitz, I'm going to say 2 Jewish people falling in love and trying to escape the Nazis. The next one was Out on a Limb, and I'm going to say pregnancies can be stressful, but not when you are surrounded by the good people. Then I read The Catcher in the Rye, and the line for that one is going to say the book is only famous because John Lennon died because of it. And after, I read Mindfuck series by T.S. Abbey, and I'm just going to say for that one, serial killer falls in love with the guy she has to kill. After those, guys, I read To Kill a Mockingbird, and I loved it. It's actually so worth it. I loved To Kill a Mockingbird. And my line for that book, it's going to be, I don't know, guys. There's a lot of things that I don't know how to explain with one line. So I'm just going to say, read it blind. That's how you're going to love it the most. After that, I read Where the Crawdad Sings. My line is just going to be a mystery murder in a small town with a massive lake. After that, I read Hands Down, and I'm just going to say a rugby, American football romance. Then I read The Stranger by Albert Camus, and I'm just going to say life-changing. After, I read The Seven Moons of Marley Almeida, and I'm going to say a black guy trying to figure out how to escape the limbo to go back to the one he loves. After that, guys, I read the beautiful Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. One of my favorite books ever, one of the 5-star of this year. That book was simply amazing. And I have to say, creativity in pure form. Then I read a collection of poems by William Wordsworth. So for Wordsworth, I'm just going to say, the Lake District sounds amazing. I want to go. And after, guys, I came back from England and I read Normal People and Conversation with Friends, and I have a reading vlog of that as well, so I will leave it linked as well. So for Normal People, I'm literally going to quote one of my friends who said this to me when I was commenting them that I was reading the book, and he said, the perfect book for evil situationships. And that is literally Normal People. And then Conversation with Friends is, age gap is just a number, but make sure who you are. Then I read Love, Slavery, Lost by Shakespeare because I started, my Shakespeare video that I'm still working on. Love, Slavery, Lost is just going to be not worth it. After that, I am counting this because I wrote it, so I technically read it. And it is Giving Meaning to Me Words, an anthology. This book I published myself. I wrote, edited, did the cover, did everything, self-published it. So go check it out. It's linked to my description. It's a collection of speeches, a collection of discourses about different topics that are very important topics to talk about sometimes. So go check it out. Beautiful. After that, I read The Awakening by Kate Chopin, and I'm just going to say feminism for people who are getting into feminism. Then I read The Two Gentlemen of Verona, and oh my god, guys, I loved this book. I really enjoyed it. It was so much fun. And I'm going to say for the line, two Italian guys fall in love with the same girl. Then I read The Comedy of Errors. The line would be, the error was me reading it. Then I read Romeo and Juliet. You can see I'm getting through a lot of Shakespeare now. And for that, I feel like I don't need a line because it's so freaking famous already. But the line has to be sure the person you fall in love with is not from someone your family hates. Then I read King John. And I'm just going to say, not the best king, but it was alright. Then I read Richard II, another May book. Read if you have to. Then I read Middlemarch, and I'm going to say, if you want to read a feminist book from the 19th century, this is your pick. Then I read King Henry IV Part 1 and King Henry IV Part 2, and I'm going to say, it was alright. Then I read The Year of Locust, and this one was shit. I hated it. I don't even remember a single thing, but let me just tell you, a historical book about a war that happens in contemporary 21st century. Then I read The Hating Game because I watched the film and I was like, let me just read the book. And The Hating Game is a girl who works at a company falls in love with her rival from the same company. Then I read Wait For It, and that was actually not that bad. So Wait For It, I'm going to say another Marion Zapata book that was okay. Then I read Les Miserables, and the line is just going to be watch the musical. Then I read Shadow Princess, which is where I stopped after, the other one from Psych Academy, and the line is just going to be stop here if you don't want to die. Then I read Nottingham Abbey, Mansfield Park, and Sense and Sensibility from the Queen Jane Austen herself. So for Nottingham Abbey, the line is going to be a girl goes into society and learns about love. Mansfield Park is a girl goes into a house to learn how to behave and ends up falling in love. And then Sense and Sensibility is simply very overrated, but very good. Then I read Annie Bot, which is one of a hell of a book. Loved it. And I'm going to say AI and technology scares me a lot. This book is the proof. After that, I read James by Percival Everett. And for this one, I'm going to say about a slave in old America. Like in old United States. After that, I read Sin ti conmigo que remedio, which is a book that the boyfriend of one of my cousins wrote, so I read it. And I'm actually going to say a very surprising book. After I read Grief is for the People, and I'm just going to say the perfect book to read if you want to learn about the grieving process or if you're going through the grieving process. Then I read The Kiss Quotient, and I'm going to say a very surprising romance. I do recommend. Then I read Catabasis, and let me tell you, Catabasis was one of my 5-star reads. I mean, Arif Kwang, of course. Catabasis, I'm going to say, a girl goes to hell to find her professor and her rival goes with her. Then we have From Look Up With Love, and I'm just going to say, ice skating is so underrated. The next book I read was Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, and the line should be a very confusing book about two writers who don't love each other. Okay, Cursed Fates, I'm not going to even care. Do whatever you want if you want to read that series. Then I read The Spanish Love Deception, and that book I actually did enjoy. So I'm going to say, fake dating for a wedding sounds like fun, but I'm not going to do it, so read the book instead. Then I read The People in the Trees by Hannah Yanakiara. I'm going to say for the line, linguistics professional goes into the forest and breaks a lot of laws. Then I read Henry V, and with that one I'm just going to say, what the fuck. Then I read Where Sleeping Girls Lie, and let me tell you guys, that was so much fun. An orphan girl goes into a fancy English school where someone dies, and she figures out what's going on. The next one, guys, was Children of Dune. This one is going to be the children of Polish traders are being haunted and Leto continues living. And then I read The Craziness of Henry VI, because there's 3 parts of them. And for the entire Henry VI, my line is going to be, it was only interesting when Joan of Arc was there. And then the final book I read this year, guys, was Game of Thrones 1. I finally finished, guys, the first book from Game of Thrones, and I'm so proud of it. And the line for that is going to be, Jon Snow marry me, Arya, I want you in my life as well. Those are all the books that I've read this year. I read so many books, I cannot even believe it. But I'm here. It's the end of the year, and I'm so happy I achieved my goal. Again, if you didn't, it's completely fine. Do not worry or stress about it. If you had fun reading the books, that's completely fine. If I don't see you before the end of the year, Happy New Year. I will see you in 2026, and if you see another video after this, enjoy that one. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, turn on the notifications so you can notify when I post a brand new video every single Friday. And now let me just continue filming and editing because this is going to take a while. Bye guys!